With week 1 of the 2022 NFL season in the books, now it's time for the Minnesota Vikings and free agent defensive lineman Ndamukong Suh to finally get together, because there's been this will they, won't they tension all off season long. It's like Jim and Pam. It's like Sam and Diane. Finally, after week 1, the Vikings and Suh need to make it happen. Number 1, because Ndamukong Suh wants to get paid this year, and now he's already out a game check. And number 2, for the Vikings, since he's signing after week 1, the contract is not fully guaranteed, so they can go week by week a la a track phone. So they can absolutely get it done. And yes, it's been established this offseason. The flirtation is real. There is some interest on both sides. And Ndamukong Suh obviously wants to play this year. Obviously, he wants to get one more payday. And he does have some talent. He can still provide a role in a rotational capacity, which is what the Vikings would need. And of course, our guy Darren Doogie-Wolfson a couple weeks ago, dropping that there have been conversations, but is it one-sided? Who really knows? Yeah, I know you say, oh, what about the cap space? With what cap? We all know. We all know. Of course, hashtag the cap is a myth, and there's always money to be found. Namely, the Vikings have an estimated about $1.8 million in cap space per spot rack. Now, the easiest way to find money is you take a veteran with a high base salary, tear that all the way down to minimum, and then prorate that out after giving him a roster bonus. So Kendricks would be a candidate, Dalvin Cook would be a candidate, maybe even Diesel Dalvin Tomlinson, even though they already have a void year on him. Doesn't really matter. But either way, if the Vikings want to sign Ndamukong Suh, they certainly can find the cap to do it. Now, he's not going to get $8-9 million or prorated over 16 games versus 17. I don't see that happening. But $5 million, maybe $4 with a couple million in incentives. Certainly a possibility. And the Vikings defensive line, I mean, they could use a guy like Ndamukong Suh, where he's very well versed playing that under tackle spot, can play some 3-tech, as well as can certainly line up at the 5-tech spot. He's good against the run. He can get after it as a pass rusher as well, even at 35 years of age. And the Vikings, at Donatel, he wants to have a rotation up front, which is going to be perfect for Ndamukong Suh, because looking at the Vikings edge rushers and defensive linemen, they rotated, especially the defensive linemen. Diesel Dalvin led the way with 39 snaps out of 61 against the Packers. So Donatel and Chris Rump, the defensive line coach, they're churning and burning guys. All 5 active defensive linemen on the game day roster yesterday got in and got some action, including new guy Ross Blacklock, even got 10 snaps in. So adding Ndamukong Suh to this mix, you love to see it. And I do love Jonathan Bullard. He was slowed by that bicep injury this week. Very solid against the run, but he certainly is not the pass rusher that Ndamukong Suh is. And just adding another pass rusher to Daniil and Za'Darius and Wanham and Patrick Jones second, man, baby, you could potentially have a stew going. So now is the time. I mean, Suh's got to be excited about the Vikings. Maybe he wants to go try and win another ring. And also, his options are starting to be limited at this point. Basically, it's probably going to be the Vikings and the Raiders. And, just another week goes by. That's another game check that's going to be out of his pocket. The Vikings will be appealing because the contract isn't guaranteed. So, it's time. It's finally time that we put this together. Ndamukong Suh, Vikings, get it done. Get it done, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Now is the time for the Vikings to sign Ndamukong Suh. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.